Fuck that, you can do it. That wouldn't be the worst thing that we've had show up on camera. So
that's true. I'm thinking I'm going to have to burn these clothes after sitting on this couch.
Oh, more than a few people have claimed to have things happen on that.
Yeah.
Looks like we are live. So welcome back to another Last Call podcast. My name is MikeyT. I'm joined through the power of the internet by Tristan in Ohio.
Now with shit on the walls.
Yes, absolutely. That's all we've been waiting for. And then locally in studio,
no longer on the floor, now on the walls.
I missed the futon.
It's still there. Don't worry. It's just over to the left.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Joining me in studio here is the 16th best.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm now 18th because somebody came out of retirement. I was 17th.
Oh, so 18th best bartender in Ellicott City. It's.
What's that out of 21?
Yeah,
I believe it's out of like 15.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's out of 16 at this point.
Anyway, bartender and chatty Cathy extraordinaire Steve Miller is joining us.
Cheers, y'all.
Welcome, Steve.
I apologize ahead of time. I sound like shit because I feel like shit. But I'm not going to let that stop us from talking about a bunch of crazy shit. So, we have had quite the last few weeks. Steve and I have, with the return of Portales and Ghost Bar and all the hectic craziness that comes along with that. I know we've sort of been the right and left hand men of Sir Evan Brown.
Ah, yes, Sir Evan of Brown.
Keeping it crazy down there.
So I know you've been doing Bomb Mondays back at Ghost Bar. I guess Portales came back into full swing. Last weekend? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, on Friday, had a couple days of soft opening to kind of get things up and running. I shook all the rust off of almost a year and a half of not behind the bar. And we opened up for Midnight Madness, and it was pretty crazy. The name was appropriate. It was busy. It was really great to, get back in the swing of things, but also to see everybody kind of come back. That was the big thing.
Yeah, still turnover are symbolic sins of time.
Yeah, right.
Even if it's not visible.
Damn right, Mike.
So how does the one time I've been down there in the last 6 months, I was very inebriated. How does the rest of downtown Ellicott City? Yeah, thanks to you. How does the rest of downtown Ellicott City look? I mean, is the area kind of coming back? Do you expect the same level of traffic eventually? Or is it still the rest of the area is pretty well beat up?
It's eventually going to come back. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that has to be done. The sidewalks have to be finished, but as I'm finding out with some of the different groups that I belong to, the process takes a while. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a handful of empty storefronts. There's some sorely missed places like Cocoa Lane and Rumor Mill that are never coming back. And
I mean, no one misses Rumor Mill.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. But anyway, damn, that was just cold. That was really fucking cold.
Fuck that place. It wasn't the fact that they lost everything just like everybody else. I really would say fuck that place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, so like Cocoa Lane is.
I think as long as you said fuck that place before the flood, you're allowed to continue to say fuck that place.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, then I'm good.
So
say stuff like I'm glad that they flooded and their owner lost everything, but you can continue to say fuck them in general.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But at the same time, shit, man, that's like a total fucking hipster thing. I was into saying fuck that place before everybody else said fuck that place.
I said fuck you before it was cool.
And now you're the only one who can say fuck that place because you can't just start saying fuck that now that they've had a flood.
Yeah, because you'd be an insensitive prick.
To be fair, I'd probably still.
Yeah.
Probably still.
That's true.
That's
Mikey is an insensitive prick.
Cheers.
True fact.
So we both had to go through sort of the growing pains of returning to something we weren't familiar with. I've still been bartending, but in a different atmosphere, under a different point of sale system. So coming back to it, it was like starting all over again. And when I came back to Ghost Bar, we opened up for a Bomb Monday, and it was first time we'd been open. We'd literally put out the liquor that day. And then just people started pouring in, like everybody that, everyone I knew from Columbia, from Notties and everything made it down, and all the regulars from town. And it was just fucking insane. And our computer was not set for that. And it was, I was ready to fucking kill myself. It was awful.
That sounds like a glorious nightmare.
Yeah. We made it through, but Steve had to jump behind the bar and help, because it was like the computer was not set up for speed bartending.
Yeah.
It was set up for fine dining Italian. And even that was like an old setup of that.
It was pretty bad. It was bad before the flood, and, it wasn't doing it any favors. And I had just gone in to get a couple beers, and Mikey was having trouble with the POS. So it's like, fuck this. You need a hand? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was crazy. It was a lot of fun to see everything back. Fun. And of course, 2 days later, we have the night before Thanksgiving, which is always insane.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that noise.
Yeah, fucking amateur night. Totally fucking amateur night. I mean, like, people are doing room temperature shots of fucking Crystal Palace. Nobody.
Oh,
who does that shit?
Ooh, welcome back, Ellicott City.
Yeah, really.
Well,
can I get 4 shots of Crystal Palace gin? You never hear anybody ever call across the bar for that. But motherfuckers were drinking that shit.
Hey, if you put it in front of them, people will drink it.
Oh,
if you pour it, they will come.
Yeah, I've made a lot of money slinging drinks.
I don't know. I think it's because we essentially missed 2 cycles of that crowd. It was a bit of a shock coming back to that, and just all these like 21-year-old twats that just have no concept of how to act in public.
Oh my God. Like to the point of where, the first year we ever did it down there, at the time I was managing that bar, and it's a cocktail, it's a wine place. We had a pretty decent beer list because we were carrying stuff better than the bullshit that you can get from the Miller distributor. No offense, but
allegedly.
But anyway, it was supposed to be like, the upstairs is going to be kind of crazy and party, and then downstairs is going to be our regular clientele. It's going to be more sedate. We'll serve the basic stuff, and then all of a sudden at 9:45 at night, all fucking hell broke loose. And I pulled a server back that was half drunk at the bar to help me bartend through the night, because it was just like 4 deep the entire time.
And the rest is history.
Memories.
Because Portales is a really cool spot to hang out, like the bar, and especially when you include multiple levels and now the deck bar and everything.
Yep.
It's really laid out to have a great party. And now it's just, for us doing the late night thing, it's all just about getting the word out, so that these 2 generations of 21-year-olds that we didn't interact with over the past year and a half, we have to bring those back in and try to build up that business again. So it's been awkward.
And also teach them how to act in polite society,
which is
sometimes the hard way.
That's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I feel like all the work I put in over the years, and now we got to teach them all over again.
But you know what, though, Mikey, we were talking about this the other night. Like, their parents are no better, because Friday night it's Midnight Madness in Ellicott City. I'm working with another veteran bartender, but he hasn't worked in a year and a half either. And we were just getting hammered with people all fucking night. So anyway, long story short, this woman comes in. She's got to be in her mid-50s, and she's sitting at the bar with like 4 or 5 of her friends, right? And she fucking points at me. You, bartender, you. And I looked at her and I said, didn't your mother teach you any manners? It's not nice to point. And she just looks at me like with this like slack-jawed look, and all her friends are like, oh, he got you. So it's the 21-year-olds, their parents, and maybe pushing to their grandparents at this point, are still assholes too. So all we can do is hope to give them
fine bloodlines there.
Yeah, really. Like, point them in the right direction and hope that they don't like fall out of line at some point. Because goddamn, like,
so So tipping aside, one behavior amongst young bar goers that you could remove permanently, what would it be? Non-tipping related. What's the thing that 21, 22-year-olds do that if you could just wave your magic wand and cut it out?
All right, you go first.
Fucking open a tab.
Ooh.
Don't swipe your credit card for every fucking round. I mean, first off, it slows me down. Secondly, at the end of the night, I got to spend an hour and a half before I've even started cleaning, just rectifying 1,000 little credit card receipts when, you know, you could have saved us all a lot of trouble.
I finally found the perfect analogy for that. Imagine going to the gas station and paying out each gallon.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's what I want to tell people now so that they understand what it's like.
Yep.
I always tried to think of something. I was like, what if it was like you're at the grocery store and like you bought one out, you like bought one item and then closed it out and then got back into line and bought the next item. It's kind of the same thing, but I feel like the simplicity of the gas argument makes it a little easier to understand.
Every
but
gallon, you got to insert your card, enter your zip code, and hit the fucking fuel selection button again.
Yeah, or you could just buy it all at once.
Yeah.
What a novel idea.
Interesting. The credit
card.
Well,
I thought we were just going to talk about woo bitches or something, but I got to turn the guns back on you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a reason people don't always open tabs, and it's multifold. Number one, the process isn't unified between bars. Do I get my card back? Do I not get my card back? Do I get to use it with another bartender? Is the other guy going to know I have a tab open? Do I have to shout my last name at him? And then when it's time for me to go, do I have to wade through a four-person deep bar just to give you money? That's super fucking annoying. So I'm not a guy who pays for every drink of the card, but I also get why people are hesitant to open tabs at every bar they go to.
I don't think that these kids have enough wherewithal to actually think that far into the future. But
you're probably right. It's probably just stupidity. I'm just bitching and moaning about bars in general. Now, I'm a guy with like I'm a guy with mild social anxiety, so like those kind of interactions like panic me before I have to have them. But I'm just saying, like, I get why the average person hesitates to open a tab. I get why it's good for you guys, and I do it most of the time, but it's still weird.
The problem I'd say about that though is all of those interactions you still have to have if you're doing, and almost more if you're doing it every time. Because now you get to ask the same question: do you want to open a tab or do you want to close it? Whereas before, it's, you know, you say, I need a Miller Lite on Edmondson. There,
right.
That's it. You know,
but
because you get those awkward questions all get answered right at the beginning. Like, yeah, that first interaction might have a little extra shit, but then you know for the rest of the night how to handle that. And
but see, there's still problems. So, like, I mean, Diamondback's a great example. Like, I could have a tab open in Diamondback upstairs. Well, what if I want to go downstairs?
Well, that's most places.
Or you know, there's a lot of places with multiple bars and the POSs may not share locations.
That's an easy fix. You hang a sign that says that all tabs left open overnight will be an automatic gratuity of 20% or 18% or whatever. And that way,
which I think fucks you guys.
It does, but you got to take the good with the bad. It washes out eventually. And
because if you let me do that, if you just say, if you leave your tab open, it's 20% tip, I'm going to take that every fucking time. Just so that I don't have to go pay the tab out. Not because I want to save money, but so I don't have to go pay it out. And that is probably going to be, I mean, depending on the size of the tab, that is going to be a significant difference between what I'm actually going to pay and how much you're going to charge me.
But I know you said not tipping related, but then those people are going to wade back in for that because those people that are closing out every time, very rarely are they the types that are tipping at least.
Oh, you think they're gonna wade back in to save their 5% or whatever? Yeah. Okay. All right. I get that.
Generally speaking,
and you know what? People that actually know how to tip properly are going to make sure that they close their tab out unless they are redonkulously inebriated, and that
happens.
That's my biggest problem.
I may have been overserved once or twice before.
Allegedly.
I'm such an asshole. I've left so many bar tabs open and Just like with people just trying to look out for me. Like I used to do it at Diamondback basis, but I did it more than I should have for a guy who went to Diamondback all the time. Like they'd just be like, "Oh yeah, we know you. We got your tab open," and then I just fucking leave and not pay it. Made me feel like such an asshole.
Whatever. We all knew you're going to be back there in a month, so
yeah, you know I was coming back.
It could be worse if you like lived or worked on the street and you used to hang tabs all the time and you didn't know people. Like shit. I mean, I used to get shit faced drunk and call the Phoenix the next morning to make sure that I closed my bar tab. And
I've done the exact same thing where I've actually never walked out on a tab, but I've had multiple times where I've got to ride home and then called the next day, and I'm like, I wasn't sure. So I mean, I guess that's a good problem. And I know a lot of people, and not in the industry, but people I've met through the industry that are habitual like tab checkers.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll pay out their tab, and then it's usually 3 or 4 more times they'll check to see if they paid out their tab.
Right.
And I love those people.
Yeah, those people
annoy me with that all the time.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Did I take care of you? Did I close my tab? Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. I have no problem. You can ask that as much as you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a tab closing related question, right? So you're in the throes of it, right? Like you got a few people deep, you're rocking and rolling. I'm at the bar, I'm just trying to close out. My night's over, but you're doing the bartender, eyes down, don't make eye contact with anybody because they'll fucking ask you for something, right? Mm-hmm. But like if you catch me real quick,
you're talking about
allegedly.
Yeah. But if you catch me real quick and I just give you kind of the low key, like just the tap, like, just to mouth it and give you just the check thing, like not like super high pressure. Is that like a legit move, or is that an asshole move that like, I just caught your eye and now you're obligated to get my tab?
I don't have a problem with that, but then I also like, I will try my best to get that next, but I might have 8 drinks in my head. And I might, by the time I get to the end of that, or I might not have a second to jump to the computer. Right. I will always try to do that. Like, generally speaking, I will try to get to whoever was there first next. Occasionally, I will deviate from that just for, if I know this person, I can get them out of the way really, really fast. Like, if I see somebody that I know is going to order a fucking Manhattan a certain way, and you got to do a whole bunch. They're going to get a
Bud Light and they're going to throw you $3 and it's going to be done. You'll just knock that one out.
Yeah, and I'll keep it moving because it's so fast. It generally won't irritate people that are there waiting. But actually, that was one of the things I was going to say about what was I would change about people is just so they know that there is a system. Mm-hmm. I wish they knew that there was a system, because I know on night before Thanksgiving, Charlie Murphy and I were working, and basically we each took half of the bar, and you'd go down the line, and then get to the end and start back at. Yep. So I'd start back at halfway down the bar and move down to the end of the bar, and he'd start at the other end of the bar, move down to half, and then go back down to the end. And people would lose their mind, like. I would finish with a thing and they had walked into the place where somebody had just paid and they expected to get served next. It's like, you can't do that. Yeah. If you do that, then that hole just constantly gets served. And then all these people that have been here longer don't get served.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people realize that, but quite often people don't. And it's like, most good bartenders have some system similar to that.
Yeah.
That keeps it moving. It's almost like I saw somebody that was bitching about merge lanes, and they hate people that go in at the end of a merge lane. And I just want to be like, that's how merge lanes work.
Yeah.
If you're the asshole that's not letting anybody in because you got in 200 yards,
don't wait till the end of the merge lane.
Well,
fuck you.
It depends.
Get your shit together and get in before the end of the merge lane.
Yeah, but
if everyone gets in there, if you zipper in one car.
No, fuck your zipper lane. That's what assholes say.
That's how they do it in Pennsylvania.
Fuck the zipper merge. It's not a thing.
Dude,
You drive for fun. You should know that that's the way to do it.
I know that it's a thing that assholes say. Fuck the zipper merge.
Now,
it's not a thing.
here's the difference.
Put your shit together. Figure out your merge before that
The
happens.
zipper?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's 100% how it should
there's one condition I'm going to throw in there. Okay, if you're on the highway and a lane ends, that's one thing. Then you should get your dumb ass over way before the end of it. But if you're merging onto the highway, like you're coming off of a side street on
where I'm talking about a merge lane.
That's a merge lane. Then yes, you should be coming in at the end because you're using that area to accelerate to the speed of traffic.
Yeah.
So the asshole in the right lane should let you over.
And the point I'm making is that when you stop that person up there, it doesn't help anything. All that does is create a backup.
Yeah.
You want everybody to use that lane because that's 200 more yards of 3 lanes or whatever instead of 2. So
what I'm talking about is
hold on. What I'm not talking about is people that drive down the shoulder. Those people can die in a fire. That's different.
You never pass anybody on his shoulder?
Firm but fair.
I never have. I hate that.
Yeah.
I will pull out into the shoulder to block people that I see driving down it. I hate that shit. That's different.
I've done that once or twice in my past, but I'm not going to say my driving record was bad, but I definitely played around a little bit.
Then again, I've also had people hit me when I've done that. So, well,
there you go.
And then they got away with hitting me because they had already hit someone else.
Wait a minute. What?
This
has happened multiple times?
I had somebody run into the side of me.
Uh-huh.
I followed them, got their license plate, called the police on them.
Right.
And then when they tracked the person down, they already had damage on their car from a previous accident. So they couldn't prove that they were the one that hit me. So I just had to eat it through my insurance.
That's bullshit.
And I was like, all right, well, I caught him red-handed, so I had already gone through my insurance.
Right.
I mean, it didn't like raise my rates or anything like that, but it was still. I'm like, fuck you! I gave you the exact car, hitting the same spot, like it's so. But whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I guess
shit happens like that.
Hopefully they're dead.
Died in a fire.
I was like, I want to say 19, maybe 20. And I was driving down kind of a secondary, 2 lanes with a turn lane in the middle.
So I keep forgetting we should probably look at the camera instead of over.
Oh yeah.
We're like, we're trained like dogs to go to the side. It's like,
so I'm driving down the road. It's like 11 or 12 at night. I'm coming home from somewhere, and a Jeep, an old Jeep Grand Cherokee pulls up behind me and flashes its lights at me. It's old, it's dark green, and I have a good friend who drives an old dark green Jeep Grand Cherokee. So I'm like, oh, that's Brian, and he wants to say hi. So I
Thank you, sir.
Pulled over into a parking lot off the road. It was a big church parking lot. And I pulled off, and the car pulled in behind me. And it turns out it wasn't an old Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was like a Durango or something like that. And I pulled over, and the truck pulled up behind me. And what got out wasn't my friend Brian from the student newspaper. It was some drunk 17-year-old.
Oh, wonderful.
And he got up and he walked up to my side window, and I'm like, "Hey man, is everything okay?" Because he was flashing his lights at me, like, "Pull over, pull over." And he's like, "What you doing, man?" He's pissed drunk. "What you doing, man?" I'm like, "I'm just going home." He's like, "Oh, this is a nice car, bro." This is my old like 90 CRX, like, it's all riced out, and like, "This is a nice car, bro." I'm like, "All right, thanks." Like, this is not going anywhere good. And I'm just kind of sitting there and just kind of checking what's going on. And the rest of the Durango is filled with other drunk teenagers. I don't exactly know what the situation is. There's a couple of girls. There's maybe 3 or 4 guys. I'm like, this is a bad situation. There's only one way in and one way out of this parking lot. And I'm trying to figure out what the best way to deal with this is. And so I'm just sitting, and he's just mumbling, and he's like, "Hey man, you know what we should do? You should fight me, bro."
The fuck?
I was like, No, man, I'm good. I got nothing. So, I'm 19. Like, I've been in the band my whole life. Like, I've got no fighting training. Like, I have no desire to fight this guy who's clearly more athletic than I am. I'm like, I'm good, man. And now I'm really freaked out, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. He's like, no, man, come on, it'll be fun. Just come on, get out and fight me. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then the dude grabs the door handle and he wrenches open the door because this is an old shitty car. It doesn't have those auto door locks, right? It was just the door was open. So he grabs the door and he pulls it open. And in this old Honda, the seatbelt is built into the frame of the door. So when he wrenches that door open, it pins me back into my seat. I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I'm in trouble.
Damn.
Jesus.
So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Oh, I know. The car still moves. So I, with my arm kind of pinned by the seatbelt, I throw the thing into first and I fucking take off into this parking lot. And I run away and the guy's left kind of standing there, kind of drunk and dumbfounded. But I don't have anywhere to go because there's one way in and there's one way out of this parking lot. So I go to the end of the parking lot and I pull a fucking J-turn and I fucking turn the car around. And I point my headlights at him and I'm like, okay, well, that's good. He's not going to pull me out of my car now. So he goes back to the Durango and I don't know what he's doing. Thankfully, he's not getting a gun. What he's done is he's pulled like 4 or 5 full Bud Ices out of the Durango that they had.
Of course, it was Bud Ices.
Bud Ice.
And he starts pitching them at my car as hard as he can. and so I'm like kind of driving around trying to dodge these Bud Ices that he's throwing at me, and a couple of them are making contact. Thankfully, most of them missed. And while he does this, the Durango has pulled across the only in and out of this parking lot. And my car is slammed to the ground, so I'm not going to jump a curb and get out of here. So now I'm like, well, if I just stay in the car, if somebody comes out and comes at me, like I'll run them over. Like that's where I'm at now. Like I can't escape. I'm not going to fight these guys. I'll just hit them with the car. And I'm like, oh wait, no, I'll just call the police. That'd be a much better idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
like,
I get
wait,
on the.
I'm sober. They're clearly drunk.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I call the police and I tell them what's going on. And they're like, do you have a license plate? I'm like, I don't now, but let me get it. And I kind of drive way around the back of the Durango and I point my headlights at the license plate and I read them the license plate. And whoever's driving the Durango figures out, oh shit, I know what he's doing. It's time to go. So the guy gets back into the car and they fucking speed off and all's well that ends well. So this is like a 17-year-old driving his parents' Durango. I gave the police the license plate of the car, the description of the guy, and the only follow-up I ever got was like, yeah, we went to the house the Durango was registered under. We didn't see it there. Nobody answered the door. So I guess that's it.
And people
so that's like, okay.
Why there's no trust in police.
What podunk town did you live in?
This was in Severna Park.
Goddamn Severna Park.
Yeah.
This was on Benfield Boulevard. This was in a church parking lot, a Methodist church parking lot in Severna Park. This is the Anne Arundel County Police. I think they were perturbed because they had to go to Baltimore County to check this address.
Oh, Christ.
But the reason I thought of that story is because when the police came to my house and I told them the whole thing, he's like, they were throwing full beer cans at your car, and I was like, he was like, can you show me like where the damage is? And I was like, yeah, probably. But it was kind of an old shitty car that already had some dents. And I was like, yeah, I that looks like a new one to me. He's like, yeah, but you don't really know, do you? And I'm like, yeah, not really.
Jeez.
So that was it. Sorry, it was kind of a tangent.
No, but I mean, you got assaulted with Bud Ices.
It was one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me. I had no idea who those people are. It was like I was in a fucking Clockwork Orange for a moment, and I just got fucking cornered by drunk teens.
Park, and you got assaulted with Bud Ice. I would expect that to happen like Glen Burnie. You know?
Yeah. It was the weirdest.
I got pistol whipped in Severna Park, so I mean, never.
Yeah,
I wouldn't count anything out.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Never underestimate the Parkies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I have this fireball here. Are we doing this tonight, or am I just?
I snuck off and grabbed it.
Oh, good work.
Would you like a swig of Fireball?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The devil's nectar.
Yeah, if you don't mind, before you, because I don't want whatever the hell.
That's a great point.
Disease that you've got. Nothing personal, Mikey, but I had a head cold over Thanksgiving, so I'm in good shape now.
I'll have to remember that now. We're just gonna have to kill this now because
yeah, I mean it. Oh God, help me!
What's the worst thing that happened?
I sleep on this couch.
would be the first time it's happened.
Yeah, I know, but I don't. I really like.
Hooray! Last call podcast.
Yay! I really like this outfit. I don't have to like burn it. You know,
it's normally Fireball related.
Fireball.
That's actually true.
Well, cheers. You know, I've shared shots over the phone before, but never over the inner tube. So
I can't get that close to my camera anymore. It's far away. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, hang on a second here. I want to spill my beer.
Yeah, cheers the actual.
Cheers to actual cameras and shit.
Man, being away from my setup over at the computer has really thrown me off because I just realized I didn't grab a would you rather card either. So I'll have to get up at some point and grab that.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
Time to do it. So, cheers.
Shit. I'm gonna chase that with the champagne and bottled beers.
You
know, it's what's interesting about Miller High Life, Tristan, is it
absolutely
looks
nothing.
The exact same color going in as it does coming out.
That is actually, and you know what? The foam consistency is actually pretty similar too. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it until he said it just now. It looks exactly like if somebody pissed into that bottle.
I mean, for all we know. Cheers.
I'm not here to judge.
You're now drinking Chris Eller's pee.
Yeah.
At least it's cold.
You could have you could have brought these. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you could have a natty daddy that's cold and yet tastes warm.
No, I think I'm good.
We haven't figured out why.
Cold and tastes warm. It's like Schrodinger's beer.
It might be sorcery.
Yeah, wizardry and sorcery. Wait, isn't sorcery? Is that always black magic?
Fuck if I know. Yeah.
Okay, I figured you'd know better.
I'm pretty fucking nerdy, but I'm not nerdy in every aspect. So
okay,
I'm pretty limited in all the Dungeons and Dragons.
You're not a fantasy guy.
Yeah. Outside of like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, that's about as fantasy as it gets.
Same here. Although my inner geek every once in a while does come out.
It's like
I'm not against it.
That's like mainstream fantasy, man.
Man, you're just not with it.
That's bullshit fantasy.
We had hipster hater before. Now we've got hipster fantasy fan. And I'm the one with the fucking hipster glasses and a beard, for Christ's sakes.
And the beer connoisseur.
Beer connoisseur drinking fucking cheap beer. How ironic.
Isn't it ironic? What were we saying? Oh,
yeah.
When we pulled that out of the when we pulled it out of the fridge, and we weren't thinking. We were just like, oh, we need a bottle opener.
Yeah.
And there's two bartenders sitting here, and we didn't have a bottle opener.
Yeah, we're like looking all over the place trying to find one.
Isn't it ironic? And then I was like, wait, it's Miller High Life, and just
just off because we fancy as fuck.
I wasn't thinking. I think the Stella that's still sitting in there was throwing me off a bit.
Oof, that's been in there for a minute.
Yeah, but it's been cold.
Yeah, it ought to be all right. It's not an IPA, so
it's not worse than the other options in there.
No, this is true, but I have to say that the Miller High Life, it's been many, many years since I've had this. I mean, I remember getting shit-faced drunk in Villanova when I was in college. I got this guy that I think it was like 18 or 19. The guy I knew that was 21 to get me like a couple 30 packs, and I told him to get me Miller Lite, and he got Miller High Life. So I was forced to drink it. Yeah, nailed it. Exactly. So I think that's the last time I actually got really good and hammered, but damn it if we didn't muscle our way through those 2 30 packs.
Hey, you got the job done.
Yeah, I got the job done.
If you're drinking anywhere in that realm of beer, that's all you're looking to do.
There's no taste. There is no flavor. It looks.
I've never understood. I'm not a beer guy. I think most people know that, but it's like, for me, I guess just because of being in the bar industry and having a fairly high tolerance and everything, I'll just end up feeling like shit drinking beer before I ever get drunk. Like, it's like I'll just feel bloated and shitty. Well, no, and then sometimes if like when So this episode hasn't aired yet, but well, actually, you can check out the audio, but the video hasn't. I haven't put that one up yet. But when Don came on, he brought with pumpkin bombs.
Ooh,
We did so it was pumpkin,
yeah.
which I think is like 10%,
It's
maybe.
Is it Southern Tier that makes that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up there. It's like
or maybe more.
right around 10, maybe 11% alcohol. It's a monster.
So
imperial.
that, and then rum chata and fireball. Ooh, was that? Yeah, that's what it was. Rum chata and fireball. So we did pumpkin bombs to start it off, and then we did our fireball, and then we're all sipping drinks as well. And then I was like, I'm feeling pretty good. And I never
feelings.
I wanted to die the next day. I think I called that at work.
You did. I do remember that. Yeah.
I think I called out of work after that.
It's like the night that I got shit-faced drunk off of nothing but White Russians.
Oh.
I hated my life for 2 days.
Whew.
Fuck. Just put a gun in your mouth. Oh my
God. It was horrible. And it was on a Monday.
Oh.
Man, you must have shit your fucking brains out.
No, it was like passing a grapefruit.
Oh.
It was horrible.
I just
yeah, I mean, like I had an old friend of mine. She had her birthday at that Patterson Park bowling lane, the duck pin place.
Oh yeah.
And the previous year, I had been the dude for Halloween, so I had like the wig, the robe, and all this other shit. So I go out to her place out on the east side of town so we can go over there, and I went and showed up in my dude outfit. And we went to a liquor store, and I picked up a bottle of Smirnoff, a bottle of Kahlua, and it was an ugly night.
Oof.
I remember bits and pieces. I remember somebody driving us through town and winding up at a Korean place up off of Maryland Avenue at like some god awful hour. And then I woke up on her couch over off of North Point Road. And I was like,
my stomach hurts just thinking about that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's like the beginning. It's like the beginning of a shitty movie.
yeah, the shitty movie is.
It just shows the North Point Road sign outside, and it just shows you just like sleeping in bed, drooling a little bit. You're just like, oh
God, I'm a dundog.
and then it fade to black.
Milk spilled everywhere. Like
it's oh God, why does everything hurt?
30 hours earlier.
It's like The Hangover.
But they use the SpongeBob transition. It's like 4 hours earlier.
Well, it was a good time. I mean, a lot of people enjoy the outfit. I really don't remember everything, but I definitely will never forget that hangover. And I was cooking at this place. I was a short order cook working in a greasy spoon, and I went in like cooking around a lunch counter around me, and I go in Tuesday and I'm drunk off my ass still. And I got to cook lunch. And I'm like standing in front of a griddle flipping cheesesteaks and just absolutely miserable. It was probably the worst hangover I could ever have. And to this day, I've never been drunk off of White Russians again.
You might be the first person to ever get drunk off of White Russians.
Oh, trust me. It worked for me.
Making somebody else's cheesesteaks all day after having a hangover related to White Russians, literally sounds like my version of hell.
No, that's flying on a tequila hangover.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that aside from my birthday every year, I still don't get hangovers.
You don't get hangovers. You get alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, once a year, just chalk it up.
You get it out of your system. You get your pump. Your
once when I am able to go out on my birthday and not and like remember going home, then I'll know I'm finally an adult. And
another 12, 13 years, you'll be there.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe for 45, maybe for 50. Who knows?
One day.
Life goals.
So let me tell you about what happened at Nottingham's the other day.
Oh yeah.
So, Nottingham's on Sundays. I hang out there and I do sort of the the video game night, and we have essentially guys get half off. So instead of ladies night, it's guys night. Just fucking play video games, watch football, and fucking drink. Well, so obviously I'm sick, so I didn't drink anything. And then towards the end of the night, this guy comes in, and he's like an older guy. He comes in, he asks about the special right off the bat. So I'm like, oh, okay, he must know somebody because he's walking in. I don't recognize him, but he already knows about the special.
Right.
But he's being kind of a dick. And whatever, I can put up with somebody being a dick. It's not the first time I've had to do so. But then he's being a dick, but then also he's contradicting himself. Like, he'd ask a question that was incorrect, or say he would ask, oh, so what can I get half off of? I'd say everything except for that menu. He's like, oh, okay, so what do I get half off? Like, well, you see that menu that you're looking at right now, not that. Everything else is okay. Okay.
What's on the menu?
It's he was holding the football menu, so it's like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
It's already discounted. So I basically said, if it's not already discounted, you can get it half off.
It's a fairly
except for like wings and seafood. Okay, that's one other thing you got to worry about. But so he proceeds to order 2 things to go from that menu, and the whole time he seems kind of confused by it. So when he asks off of those from that menu, I remind him again. I was like, just so you know, he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that. He just has
wait. Walked in off the street, talked to you, ordered to carry out food.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
Yeah. And then and got
fucking serial killer.
And got 1 beer. Oh, yeah.
No.
Just wait.
Fucking take him out of the equation. He's
wait.
A psycho. Okay. All right.
Holy fuck.
So as soon as he's done with he orders his food. At one point, he got 1 beer, and then he asks if I can hold his beer there, and then he's gonna go outside or something. I was like, yeah, no problem. I let him just slide it on the front of the rail there, and it's sitting right in view. He goes to like another part of the bar. He didn't go out the front, so because I was like, I'm just worried about this guy making a run for it and not paying.
I'd be worried about him murdering someone in the bathroom. This is psychopath behavior.
Definitely escalates to that point eventually.
Hey, bro, watch my beer. Nobody fucking does that.
So he eventually comes back, and I'm dealing with other customers. But I see him out of the corner of my eye, standing there at the corner of the bar, right where his beer is, and it's like 12:30. There's only 20 people in the bar at this point. He's standing by himself in front of his beer, sitting on the bar and not grabbing it, with his weird smile on his face, because he kept alternating between being a dick and being like uncomfortably friendly, like buddy cop sort of thing.
Bipolar kind of.
He's playing good cop, bad cop by himself.
Yeah, it was real strange. So this continues on, whatever.
It's like fucking Two-Face and Batman.
He then walks down to the other bar where some of the other customers, some of our regulars are there, and a guy I know from the industry he's just out there like hanging out. This guy comes up and he sees this kid take his medicine. He has he was in a motorcycle accident.
Okay.
And he has prescribed medicine in like a medicine bottle.
Right.
And he takes that. And then I'm only extrapolating this after the fact that I realized why this escalated the way it did. So the guy asks, he turns to me after my friend walks away, and he's like, hey, you know that does that guy take drugs? I was like, I don't know, probably. Like, because I hadn't
just say no to drugs.
I hadn't caught on to just how fucking nuts this guy was. And he's like, so you okay with him taking drugs? I was like, I don't give a shit what people do outside of here. Like, I I'm just here to provide a service.
This is
What
an
people
aggressive line of questioning.
Yeah, what people do outside of here is none of my business. I don't care.
Let's have a discussion about your value judgments.
Yeah, wait for it. And then he says, so you're okay with charging the same amount for people that do drugs and people that don't do drugs? I was like,
What?
we just sell food and drink at a price. What people do outside of here has nothing to do with that.
Is there a place where I could go where I can get a discount for not being a drug user? Is that a thing that exists?
I don't know.
somewhere?
Apparently.
Is there a place where I can get a discount for being a drug user?
Oh, I see. You think it goes
Maybe.
the other way. You know what I bet it is? Like Taco Bell. I bet fucking tacos are cheaper for people who are high.
Yeah.
That's like a code word you got to know.
Buy so many of them. Like, I got 20 tacos for $30. Anyway.
So this so from here he's visibly getting agitated. And I'm getting annoyed at this point. So the guy says he's like, that is unacceptable. I was like, dude, I don't care what he does outside of here. It has nothing to do with me or anything else. He's like, I need to speak to a manager. I was like, I'm a manager. He's like, I need to speak to a manager. I am a manager. It's like, really? Oh, well, what's your name? Mikey. He's like, all right, well, this is unacceptable. He's just, you charge the same amount and you're okay. You've already admitted that he's on drugs. I was like, I don't know he's on drugs. I just said that I don't care if he is.
I don't care if he was. He come fucking snort coke off the bar. His fucking chicken tenders are still $3.99. Fuck off.
So at this point, right as this happens, another regular, some other regulars are helping one out of the bar who has had way too much to drink. And to be
no, they may have been overserved.
Well, it doesn't matter to me because it wasn't me.
That's
they showed up like that.
Allegedly had been overserved.
So he sees this and then decides to go all white knight on it, and he's like, where are they taking her? It's like they all know her, they all work together.
Oh, Jesus.
He's like,
Christ.
She's not in good hands. I need to go. And it because after the first exchange, I had said you need to close out. Like I'm done with this. So he given me his card and I'd given it back, and then this happened. So
where are they taking her? Well, I mean, to the rape van.
Yeah,
I mean,
clearly.
Yeah, obviously.
Fucking where else would they take her, dude?
I was like,
it said free candy and
they have candy
on the
there.
side of it, for God's sake.
Right, like you know.
He makes a beeline for the parking lot to follow after them. I signal the bouncer and we both follow out there. This guy's now harassing people I know.
Oh my
saying,
God.
It's like, is she okay? Is she okay? And my friend's like, yes. Who are you? And
who are you, mysterious hero?
And then the guy refuses to sign his credit slip. And then he just starts speaking gibberish. I'm like, look, man, all I need you to do is sign your credit slip. Whatever you do after that, it's up to you. If you want to go off on this epic quest to save all humanity, that's on you. He's like, which one do I need to sign? Which one do I need? Which one do I sign? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just sign one and hand it to me.
Sign one of them, asshole. I don't care.
I was like, all right, sign that one right there. Just sign that one. He's like, this one? I want you to say this. I already said this one right here. Just sign it, hand it to me, and you can leave. He's like, no, we can play this game all night. I was like, I don't know what game you think we're playing, but it sucks, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Did a bus from fucking Spring Grove just happen to open up outside of Noddy's, and one of the residents came out?
It was fucking nuts. And then he folds up all the slips, puts them in his pocket, and he's like, I'm not signing them.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, whatever. Well, I mean, you're still getting charged. So I had the bouncer grab his license plate and everything. He drove off. I'm like, he was like, I'm gonna call in the morning.
Wait. This crazy bastard had a driver's license.
Apparently, and a vehicle.
Oh man, I gotta share the road with him.
So do you think, like, schizophrenic? Do you think just kind of an asshole? Do you think like he just lives alone, doesn't know any better? Like,
I think something was actually wrong.
Yeah,
with him.
I think this cat definitely had something seriously wrong.
You definitely got this sort of like screw loose mentality. It was.
Well, see, like the apartment building that my better half and I used to live in, we had a woman that if she during the day, she was very mild mannered and very very nice, if not a little bit of aloof. And she said that she worked in an attorney's office, I think it was. But at night, she would drink just a little bit of wine. And all of a sudden, she would turn from like sweet little whatever her name was. I think her name was Karen to as the girls named her Rosemary. And she would go fucking nuts. Like her voice would change. Annie comes home one night and she's sitting on the couch in the landing and she's walking up the steps and she's talking into her fucking hand. I mean, this woman is like, oui, yes, merci. Oh, merci. Excuse me, darling. I'm having a phone conversation with a French exchange student. Oui. It's very expensive. It's long distance. And Annie goes, he calls me and she's like, what the fucking fuck? So maybe this cat was like Rosemary, who we had to call the cops on and have involuntarily committed for 72 hours. But that's beside the point.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
See, that's what I was about to say. Like, wouldn't life be like more entertaining if like we could have these kind of crazy fucks around and not have to worry that they were going to turn dangerous later? Like a lady who just wandered around talking to her hand all the time in a language she didn't speak. That'd be fucking hilarious to have around on a regular basis.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing at all. In fact, it was pretty fucking funny.
But you got to be worried that she's going to shatter all your car windows at a moment's notice.
Well, that's the fucking thing. She broke out the window in her bathroom, right? And the bathroom window blew out onto the parking lot below. And she claimed that the wind blew it in. Now, think about that for a second. Broken glass lands on the outside, but the wind blew it in. That means that the lone wind gust from the grassy knoll came all the way in one window, did this crazy S-turn JFK style, and blew the window out onto the fucking parking lot. So the bitch was nuts.
Science, bitch.
Science, bitches.
Who am I to judge?
Oh, like, aren't you sweet?
I don't speak French. So we missed the thing at the beginning that we usually ask. Do you have any alcohol that you no longer drink?
Oh yeah, tequila.
Just tequila in general?
Well, I'll drink margaritas or a Paloma every once in a while, but doing shots of tequila is bad juju. I mentioned it earlier. I flew on a tequila hangover once. It's the last time I ever like sat down and said, I am going to work on this bottle.
So is it just the hangover, or was there anything crazy that went along with it?
So yeah.
Were you in Halloween costume for this one as well?
No, it was middle of summer. It was a beautiful July day. And my uncle, who's since passed away, was living in Mexico, and he and I were really close when I was growing up.
Good, I'm glad he's dead.
That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up, Tristan.
Damn, that jumped quick.
He was kind of an asshole anyway. Tell me he wasn't.
Oh, he was an asshole. There's no question about that. But he was my kind of asshole, right? Like a good, like this dude was a fucking crazy bastard in his own right. But anyway, so he comes up with a bottle of Reposado.
Can we just call the episode "My Kind of Asshole"?
He's a kind of
it's
asshole.
One of those borderline terms, but sure.
My kind of asshole. So anyway, he comes up. I get a case of Guinness cans, and he's got this bottle of Reposado, and he and I are going pound for pound. And
Guinness and tequila.
Yeah, not my best moment. I was also 21 years old, so I didn't really know any better. I mean, I've been drinking semi-professionally for about 6 or 7 years at that point, but now I was in the majors. So anyway, I get
bad juju.
Bad juju.
Oof.
Bad juju. So
grab our next segment.
Yeah, right. I got shit-faced drunk off of tequila shots with Uncle Tony, and somehow threw up in my parents' backyard. At which point I then went inside and threw up in their powder room. Then I walked into the living room where my youngest sister, Lauren,
Right.
that used to work at Diamondback, was talking on the phone to a friend of hers, and I proceeded to drop the people's elbow on her. And I'm not just saying like, just dropping an elbow. I pulled the armband off, ran back, stumbled back and forth across the room while she was laughing her ass off and dropped the people's elbow on her. Just because.
You dropped the people's elbow on your sister and the influence of tequila and Guinness.
Yeah, that gets better.
As one does.
It gets better.
Carry on.
So I go upstairs, pass out, wake up, oversleep my flight, catch another one, get out to Kansas City. Now, I'm flying on a tequila hangover, and I'm going to Kansas City to catch a van to go to Lawrence, Kansas, which is the home of some college, I've heard. Anyway, there's also a speaker manufacturer there because I'm working for a stereo company. So I'm flying into Kansas City to go to a speaker factory and listen to high-end speakers for 2 days. And I am the most hungover I have ever been in my life. I mean, like, we're talking like at 21 years old, I'd had a couple good like frat party level hangovers, like drinking jungle juice out of a keg bucket kind of hangovers. But this was the real deal.
Not Guinness and tequila.
Guinness and tequila.
Some pro level shit.
Yeah, this was pro level. I like I said, I went from playing like little league straight out of high school and into the majors. So the next night I'm sitting in Pittsburgh International, waiting on a flight, having a beer at the bar because at this point I'm well into the maintenance phase of a heavy duty alcohol dependency. And talking to my mother on the phone because, I'm 21 years old and I moved back from college to my parents' house. And she says, "Do you remember anything that happened that night?" Well, I mean, I got really drunk and I dropped the people's elbow on Lauren. Yeah. Do you remember anything after that? My mother had no idea what the people's elbow was, but my sister somehow explained to her about the rock and, all that shit. So she said, well, about 1:30 in the morning, bedroom door swings wide open and you come stumbling and drunk off your ass. Yeah. And she said, then you pulled your pants down and proceeded to take a piss on our bedroom wall.
Jesus.
Whoa.
I'm like, wait, what? And she goes, yeah. She said, and your father and I were both yelling at you. Steve, what the fuck are you doing? You just looked at us and said, I'm taking a piss. What's it look like? And she said, we were pissed off at you, but we were also laughing our asses off because it was so fucking crazy. There you are, pissing on our bedroom wall at 1:30 in the morning, drunk off your ass, reeking of tequila. And shame, lots of shame, because that goes hand in hand with tequila. And so I'm sitting in the airport bar in Pittsburgh. I'm laughing my ass off at this story. And she said, and the thing is, like, you clamped off midstream, stumbled down the hall, went back into the bathroom in the hall, finished and went to bed. And you didn't miss a beat. Damn, I clamped off midstream. I didn't know that could fucking happen.
That's difficult when you're sober.
Yeah, tell me about it. Apparently I'm super good when I'm drunk.
It was drunk Steve, but sober Steve punched through for just a minute. It was like, what are you fucking doing?
Time to save what shred of dignity I had left before this podcast. Anyway,
get to the bathroom.
So now keep in mind, I mean, I overslept my alarm. I got to BWI late. I was still pretty inebriated, very likely, and caught the next flight out. So I'm laughing my ass off. And my mother says, she goes, it wasn't so much the fact that we were concerned about you being so drunk that you were pissing on our bedroom wall. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, it's that you were pissing on the bedroom wall. I never heard my mother say pissing this many times before. I don't think I'd ever heard her say pissing before. But you were pissing right next to an electrical outlet. I fucking damn near fell off the bar stool. I'm like, oh my God. My grandmother heard the story about how drunk I got. And
that would have
been
been amazing if that's how you died.
That's it. That's when I jumped to the majors.
I'd like to hear that eulogy.
That'd be the greatest story of all time.
My leadoff was a fucking grand slam in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out. It's been all downhill ever since.
Oh, your poor mom. Let me tell you the story about how my son died in front of me.
Yeah. Electrocuted in a Ren and Stimpy inspired accident.
I'm trying to think. Would you have launched away from the wall like the kid in Jurassic Park?
I hope so.
I would hope so. I would hope
They're
so.
all fucked up and smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight
Like,
up from
hair
his head.
standing up.
come up looking like Doc Brown from
Oh, yeah.
Back to the Future. My hair's all sort of, you know.
Dick still in his hand, but like the muscles in his hands have tensed really tight, so
Yeah,
it's gripped.
I got like
The mortician
like,
can't remove it.
soot all over
Ooh.
my face, and yeah. So that after that point, I decided that it was probably a good idea that I not drink tequila anymore.
That is probably the best reason we've heard that somebody said that they no longer drink an alcohol.
You know what? I was thinking before Steve told that story, I was trying to think back and be like, who is given the best reason for not drinking an alcohol anymore? And you're right. I think that's the one.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy,
Yeah.
Jose Cuervo.
Because most people, it's like, oh yeah, like I drank too much and
Yeah.
I got sick or whatever. Nobody has nearly peed themselves to death in their parents' bedroom. So
I've never really thought about it like that, Mikey. Thanks.
yeah, I like to bring new perspective to things. So.
Yeah.
We had one who spent the whole night answering the door at a party naked for no apparent reason and was famous for years after because of it. That was probably the number one, but no, I think urinating on your parents' wall in front of them is that's ding ding ding.
Yeah. Hey. All right.
Very nice, very nice.
Golf clap.
I'll expect my plaque will be in the mail.
No, we'll put it up on the wall behind you.
Put it up on the wall.
We should do it annually, you know.
Well, let's see. Our time is running short here.
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
got a hard out here in a little bit.
So let's roll right into Would You Rather. Steve, you may not be aware of this, so good luck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've
All
just bared my soul and told you about me pissing on my parents' bedroom wall. How much worse could it get? Don't fucking jinx me, Mikey.
Well, I haven't
Depends
looked
on the
ahead,
card.
but it wouldn't be the first time that it's got much, much worse.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather have all of your eyelashes, nose hairs, and ear hairs pulled out one at a time,
Oof.
Ooh.
or roll naked on a floor of thumbtacks?
One at a time, huh?
Mhm.
How long do I have to roll around naked?
I don't know.
One revolution?
Let's say a room the size, roll across it or something.
Ooh, high speed.
We'll see.
I'm kind of fat, so I gained some
It's a
momentum.
10 by 10 room. You have to roll around. There's a tack every square inch. You have to roll until all of the tacks are in your body.
Oh, okay, yeah, the eyelash thing.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
if it's that specific,
If it's that specific, yeah. If it was like, okay, roll for one full revolution of your morbidly obese body, then yes, I would say that, because at this point I built up enough of a fat layer that I don't think it would actually hit any nerves.
I imagine it probably doesn't hurt that bad most of your body.
Yeah.
I'd just be worried about those places where it hurt a lot more.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you get a bunch of thumbtacks in your dick.
I'm worried more about but like think of like where you're the whole
Where you
crotchal
keep your
region,
balls?
pressure
Yeah.
And next
and everything.
question.
Oh God! I think I'm back to the eyelashes and nose hairs.
Even if
and
you only
shit.
got to do one full revolution, you're going to take a thumbtack to the head of your dick.
Oh God, you probably take. Oh, yeah. Move on. Next question. Second suitor.
To be fair, it's probably not going to get any better.
Okay.
All right.
Second suitor. I like the reference.
This seems oddly appropriate.
Oh Jesus.
Would you rather have an affliction which causes you to have bowel movements on your living room floor while sleepwalking, or pee on a total stranger twice a year?
Total stranger?
I'll
Yeah.
I'll
pee on a total stranger. I mean,
Yeah,
shit,
fuck
man.
that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to have
Or
like ceramic
girl.
tile.
I'm an equal opportunity peer.
Yeah, like if I had to shit on my floor, then I'd have to have ceramic tile, and that'd
Oh,
be like
God.
really cold in the winter, you know? Because
What if it's
carpeting would be totally impractical.
What if like one time it's just like a 3-year-old at the mall? I mean, nobody said this is like consequence free, right? Like,
Yeah,
you can get, like you can get murdered or arrested. Like, you got to shit on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the answer.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Fuck
pissing
that.
on
I'm still
somebody.
pissing on somebody.
As
I don't know.
long as
No, you can fucking go to jail.
yeah, but you know what?
Whatever. That's
forever.
twice a year.
It's twice a year. I'm willing to take the risk so long as they're
You
not
have to
standing
piss
next
on
to an
somebody.
electrical outlet.
They could
Imagine if
kill
you could. What if you, anytime you went to sleep, you could potentially just walk into your living room and shit on the floor?
I
Yeah.
feel like I could talk to Susan about that and we could get through it. I cannot get through, sorry, sweetheart, I peed on a 92-year-old man at the Annapolis Mall today in front of an Anne Arundel County police officer. It was just that time of year. I'm going to jail for a class 4 sex crime. I might get out in 10 years, and then we have to register as a sex offender for the next
Hey,
4.
Tristan, that's pretty damn specific, man. Do you have some sort of inside track on what classification of sex crime that is?
I'm not trying to talk about my teenage years on the
Okay.
air.
All right, that's
I'm
fair.
just
That's fair.
saying.
That's fair. I mean, I talked about me when I was 21. I figured we're in a sharing mood, you know?
Shitting on the floor is the answer.
Yeah, shitting on the floor is the answer. Okay.
Would you rather snort a foot-long strand of spaghetti through your nose, or suck 8 ounces of diet soda through a straw in your nose?
Whew. I mean, I've put vodka in my nose before.
I'm sitting there thinking, like, how
Yeah.
much 8 ounces?
8 ounces is, I mean, that was like like a half an ounce. Like, ooh.
8 ounces is 2/3 of a can.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know how much 8 ounces is. That's a lot of liquid to go up through the old nose pipe.
So the other option is to snort a piece of cooked
Spaghetti. I could do that.
But I feel like that would be difficult.
No. I've seen
I've
that
never
shit
tried.
on like,
I have
I've
no
seen
idea.
that shit on TV.
I think
People
I
like take like an entire cooked spaghetti noodle and like get it up through their sinuses and down and out through their mouth.
I know
And then
it's
they do like
possible.
that kind of shit. You know?
I'm just saying, I think it would be difficult to do. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, sucking soda through your nose would suck,
yeah.
but it would. It's very
But
possible.
the thing is, like, the spaghetti noodle will eventually come down the back of your windpipe, and you could pop it out through your mouth and just. Zoom.
Yeah, so definitely soda.
I'm with Mikey though. Like, what if you're on like hour 4 of trying to sniff a spaghetti noodle up through your fucking
Exactly.
Trust me, it
No,
doesn't take me that long to get anything up there. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
nose? He's talking about
You gotcha.
Or so I've been told.
Would you rather? Oh, this is depressing.
Oh boy.
Be a chronic divorcer or never get married.
Never get married.
I say never get married.
Yeah, never get married. I mean, that's easy. Divorces are expensive because they're worth it. Don't agree to that, Mikey.
That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, that one's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
Would you rather accidentally suck a large fly through your nose and swallow it?
What the fuck? What's the nasal cavity question?
Fuck if I know.
Snorting shit.
Or have a tiny fly go inside your ear and not be able to get it out?
Ooh.
Well, it's the fucking nose one.
Yeah,
that's
Nose one. I mean,
insanity.
that's like, I've swallowed a couple flies on motorcycles before. It happens.
You know what I'd rather have crawl into my ear instead of a fly and never come out? A bullet. 'Cause this is the fucking
yeah.
And definitely not that thing from Wrath of Khan.
Wasn't it just a earwig? What the
Yeah, it
hell
was
is that
like
called?
something that like Khan
Oh, the
put it-
Helgermite.
Yeah, Khan put it in the red shirt guys that we don't know their names and don't care about.
I remember learning what those were on a Boy Scout trip.
Yeah, what the fuck? How did you just fucking come up with that name?
It's a Helgermite.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I heard you. Where the fuck did you Encyclopedia Brown that shit from? What the fuck?
fucking.
It was
A.
on. I'm pretty sure you were probably on that trip too.
I was probably there. I didn't store that shit in whatever part of my memory allowed me
That
to
is all
recall
my
it
brain
when I was
has.
35.
That is like the ultimate nerd street cred. I might have the ultimate stupid not drinking tequila story, but right then and there, that's obscure.
Well, no, I didn't know that was from. I only knew the reference because somebody brought that up. I think it was Matt Gibson's dad.
Okay.
I believe that. It was a really horrifying scene too, right? Like they
Yeah.
strapped the guy
Claw
down
out or
and like
Yeah,
fucking funnel it into his ear.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
It, like,
Fucking
forget what he
Ricardo
does.
Montalban like came off of Fantasy Island to put some shit in the red shirt's ears. I mean, that was some seriously depressing shit.
tough life, the life of a red shirt.
It really is. So,
All right. Was that 4 or 5?
That was that all of them? Yep, that's it.
there
That's
we
all
go.
of them.
That's all of
Okay.
them.
Only 3 snorting related questions.
Yeah,
it's
really.
that's quite a high percentage there.
I mean, you're not supposed to put anything up your nose other than your finger.
The manufacturers of that game have overestimated my familiarity with putting stuff up my nose.
It's like, oh, these were easy.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that's another successful podcast.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's a wrap.
We thank you very much for tuning in for our antics every week. Thank you for Tristan for phoning in from another state, and thank you to Steve for coming and sitting on my shitty couch where crazy
man.
things
Thanks,
have happened.
Steve.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna burn this outfit.
Yeah, you probably should.
You
Yeah.
should.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
probably mostly semen at this point anyway.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time on the next last call.
See ya.
Another long trip to the computer.
Oh shit! Don't knock it over.